What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Bull Combo. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great day. Today I'm coming at you guys with another Earth 2 video. So stick around while we talk about everything going on in the world of Earth 2 this week, as well as the current state of the game. Alright guys, so before we get started, if you want to support the channel real quick, you can use the referral code down below or check out the merch store. Those are the two best ways to support the channel right now, and I really appreciate all the support everyone's given so far. It's really awesome. Also wanted to give a shout out to my homie Ethereum. Thank you for shooting to the moon for us. We love you. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about what's currently going on in Earth 2 this week, as well as the state of the game as a whole. Things have quieted down a little bit, so I felt it was a good time to just talk about the state of things, where we're going, where things are, and what we can expect. So first off, I wanted to get to the current updates for this week. First thing I wanted to talk about was withdrawals. The dev team has expressed their concern over the withdrawal experience and how it is top of mind and top of priority for them to address. It looks like recently they updated the verbiage that was sent out as an automated response with the withdrawal request. The verbiage seems to be more professional and more transparent and really identifies the fact that there are delays with the withdrawal process right now, especially if you're withdrawing a large amount of money because of the verification that's required on the back end. I know this is really frustrating for a lot of people that are trying to get their money out, but right now the best thing we could do is be patient. So I came across something really interesting that I think lends into this conversation that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So there's a game called NBA Top Shots, just released a few months ago. It's a blockchain trading game, very similar to Earth 2. However, in NBA Top Shots, you can buy NBA moments, very similar to NBA trading cards. And then you can sell them, keep them, or buy them on the marketplace. Again, very similar to Earth 2 with tiles. They released a blog post yesterday talking about the state of the game and where it's headed in 2021. And two things that specifically jumped out to me about this blog post were the issues they're experiencing with server scalability based on volume, and the second was the withdrawal delays. I found both of these interesting because currently these are two major issues that Earth 2 is also experiencing, and two issues that the devs have consistently mentioned needing to be addressed prior to them releasing the terrain video. I think it's just a little bit enlightening. And not only is it a little enlightening, but it also provides a little bit of validity to the issues that the devs have been talking about here. It's encouraging to see that a game as large as NBA Top Shot, which was actually founded in partnership with the NBA and the NBA players, is also experiencing a similar issue when it comes to these sorts of things, server performance and withdrawal requests. I don't think that these issues are unique to Earth 2, but I think for a lot of people, they aren't familiar with a game like this or an experience like this, so this is all new to them, and it can be a very off-putting experience not being able to access your money quickly. But I think seeing this example from another game, a really well-reputed game that's represented and is clearly in every way legitimate, just shows that this is a real challenge for games venturing into these platforms and into these concepts. So I think this is something to keep in mind while we're dealing with the delays and growing pains of the current withdrawal experience. The terrain video. So Nathaniel already confirmed that the terrain video is done and it tops out at a little over 5 minutes. He did also confirm that this video is going to be showing us Phase 3 details. So I think there's been a little bit of confusion on exactly what's going on because there's been multiple timelines thrown out there. Shane recently made an announcement on some of the features we can expect with Phase 2, and he also stated that some of those features would be rolled out in the next few weeks. Now, I think there was some confusion regarding the video content. Some people thought that the video contents were going to be a preview of Phase 2. And we received confirmation from Nathaniel in Discord that this video will be highlighting the features and functionality of Phase 3. So, Phase 2 features are probably going to start rolling out in the next few weeks. However, the game will still remain in a top-down view during that phase. It looks like Phase 3 is where the game will really break out and move into a 3D realm. Still, the idea of seeing what Earth 2 will look like in that setting is extremely exciting, and I, for one, am very much looking forward to the terrain video, just to see the future of Earth 2. We're going to get our first taste of where this game is going to go long term. Two-factor authentication. Last week I talked about how two-factor authentication was one of the top priorities for the dev team, and they stated that it would be released within days. We have a new, fresh update from Nathaniel this morning in Discord confirming that 2FA could be arriving as early as today or tomorrow. That's a really exciting news, guys. Two-factor authentication is extremely important for preserving the security of our accounts. There's already been a few instances of people having their accounts hacked and their property sold or stolen. Having 2FA implemented will go a long way to preventing this from occurring. Right now, the information and the content held in our profiles is extremely delicate and extremely sensitive. We're working with real-world money here, so the quicker they can roll out 2FA, the quicker they can instill confidence back into the user base, and also the quicker they can knock down one of the 3 challenges that are in the way of them releasing this video. The dev team already mentioned that the 3 main challenges that are occurring right now are the withdrawal experience, server scalability, and implementing two-factor authentication. Those are the main hurdles they had to overcome prior to releasing this terrain editor video. The fact that they're almost complete with one of the three is very exciting and shows us just how much closer we're getting to the website and the servers being in a state where they can move forward and really announce things and let things take off. So we're just going to have to see when exactly that's implemented, but I wouldn't be surprised if we received an update later today or early tomorrow from Shane talking about that rolling out. Something very exciting. I know a lot of people have been waiting for 2FA, and it's really exciting to see that we're right on the cusp of having it available. All right, so something that I feel a little silly even mentioning here is the whole Logan Paul conversation. So earlier this week, a video surfaced of Logan Paul talking about purchasing $5,000 worth of virtual land. He didn't mention E2 specifically, but speculation ran rampant immediately, and I don't blame people. After hearing the details and watching the video, there aren't a lot of things that make sense other than Earth 2. Decentraland, the prices don't quite match up to what he's talking about. And in games like the Sandbox, you're not able to buy brand new tiles. The only way you're able to do that is on the market. Doesn't really sound like he would have gone through on the market and bought secondhand tiles or secondhand property from anyone. So it's a pretty good assumption that he is inside of Earth 2. And some savvy Earth 2 users pretty quickly found a user with the name Logan Paul and an investment that matches the 5,000 he talked about. We don't know if that's him. I think that the speculations run a little bit rampant, and until there's any sort of confirmation from him directly, I'm not really going to get too excited on this. Even if it is him, the fact he's not talking about it basically means nothing. So until he confirms it and actually talks about it with his user base as something that he's both interested in and as something he thinks has long-term potential, his involvement really means nothing here for the game. You know, he may not be speaking about it because he's either skeptical and doesn't want to introduce his user base to something he's not sure about, or he might not be talking about it because he already spoke with the devs and they said, please don't talk about it until we're in a state where we can handle that level of influx. I think that is a little bit wishful thinking. I don't think he's had that level of interaction with the dev team. I could be wrong there, but I do very much think that if he did get involved in Earth 2, it was literally just to throw some money at it and see if it stuck, which probably explains his hesitance to talk about it in the video that surfaced. Really, the only thing we can do is just watch this. I think there was some serious conversation that went down and multiple platforms inside YouTube, Discord, Facebook surrounding this. I think people got a little bit too excited and probably a little bit too angry at the idea of it. I mean, at the end of the day, if a large YouTuber or a large influencer comes into Earth 2, that is going to be beneficial for everyone involved, regardless what their reputation is. There's a saying, any publicity is good publicity. So in this specific instance, I do think that is the case. That said, I think we should hold off on being excited until we get a little more confirmation on that. So now I talked about all of the current things going on this week in Earth 2. I just wanted to talk about the state of the game as a whole. Things have slowed down tremendously over the last few weeks, and a majority of purchases have shifted from new tiles to marketplace transactions, which in turn has slowed the growth of net worth and the periodic payment of lit. Lit is still going out, but the amounts seem to be much lower than previously. There's been a lot of conversation and panic surrounding this. Some people are saying Earth 2 is dying. There's been a lot of dramatic things said, to be honest with you. The reality is we don't know where the game is. We've only been through one major high and one major low when it comes to this game, so it's still really too early to find out where this game is going to shake out long term. Obviously, we've hit a slow point here. Do we know if this is how slow the game's going to be going forward? No. Do I think this is how slow the game's going to be going forward? No. I do think that this game is very much a game where the user base reacts based off of information that's provided and new users influx based off of new information that's provided. So things like the terrain video will very much drive the volume higher, and I think after that happens and we start getting a sense of what happens when things spike up and down, we'll start to get a better sense and a better picture of exactly how things will shake out for Earth 2 long term. Again, I do think it's too early to really state whether or not the game's exploding or dying. I think it's very much in flux right now because of how early the game is. I highly doubt we're not going to experience another period of solid growth just because the game is so young, and there's still so many people that haven't been exposed to the potential of the game. Earth 2 is a game of phases, and I very much think that those phases and the content that's announced within them will directly drive the volume spikes that we see within the game. Especially now as new user adoption is the main form of volume driving. As things shake out and as people become more comfortable with the platform, as more functionality is released, as more depth is released, as more customization is available, I do believe that the low-level activity will move to a higher point. Right now it's extremely low because there's nothing going on right now. That could all change really quickly. So for that reason, I think it's really best for us to just wait. This is very much a holding game right now. Earth 2 was never a get-rich-quick scheme, and I think because things accelerated so quickly in those first few weeks, people were under the impression that it was. This is very much a holding game. This is very much a visionaries game. If you bought property in this, it behooves you much more to hold on to that property for months or years to see how the game shakes out, especially if you're not invested large amounts of money. If you've invested $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, I can understand your skepticism, your hesitance, your willingness to maybe pull out and want to withdraw all of your funds just because that's a lot of money to ride on in a game. But if you have a lower investment, something you're more comfortable riding on in this game, I think this is really one of those games where we should be holding. We shouldn't be trying to actively sell our property too much just because the potential value of these properties long term could rise exponentially. Again, this isn't a financial advice of any sort. This is just talking about numbers and general trending. The game's still in a very early form. If you were to weigh the pros and cons of buying your property and flipping it now as opposed to holding on to it, there are some really strong arguments to be made for holding on to that property until future versions of the game are released, because the value of that property could skyrocket tenfold depending upon the things that come out here. So again, this is really a game that we play the way we want to play it. I personally think this is a holding game. I don't really think it's a get-rich-quick scheme. I think it's more of a long-term investment, but people are going to view this differently. The number one thing I would just tell you guys is to remember to be patient, and that at the end of the day, anything that involves money is a risk. Even if this is a game/investment, it's still a risk. Invest in this at a comfortable level, and my recommendation would just be to hold. Hold on, see what happens, watch the game, have fun interacting with the community. I've already gotten my money's worth out of this game just by all of the interaction I've had and all the fun I've had talking to people about the game, learning about the game, the experiences I've had as a result of this. And we haven't even hit anything other than a top-down viewpoint right now. So let's just appreciate where we're at, guys. Let's appreciate what the game's doing right now, where it's going. Let's just watch. Starting next week, I'll be coming at you guys with a 3-part video series that breaks down the top 3 blockchain trends that are emerging for 2021. The trends I think are going to explode. And I'm going to be starting off with virtual land. So on Monday, I'm going to be dropping that video. It's going to talk about Earth 2, as well as a couple of the competitors, and why I think virtual land is one of the 3 blockchain features that's going to explode this year in popularity. So I think you guys are definitely going to want to check that video out. Alright guys, that was all I had for this week. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click the bell to get notified. I'm coming at you guys with new videos every week, and I want to make sure you guys see them. Other than that, I want to thank you for checking out this video. I hope you guys have a great day, and until next time, we'll see you soon.